Section 31. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Go down and give him 30 strokes of the cane to teach him a lesson. Since you have followed me for so many years, I will not punish you severely this time. If it happens again, your cultivation will be destroyed and you will be executed on the spot. After Xuanhuan finished speaking, he picked up the teacup beside him and took a sip of tea. When he spoke of such a big matter as life and death, it seemed like a very insignificant matter. Thank you, Lord Governor, the big boss wiped the sweat from his face. Go and do your business. Yes, Lord. Xuanhuan Mansion. After Zhuge Jinghua received the order from His Majesty, he sighed deeply. I hope there will be no accidents. Zhuge Jinghua's face was full of worry. Uncle, what happened? Wuqing came over and asked. Zhuge Jinghua sighed and said, Your Majesty is going to watch the duel between Yiguqing and Ximenqiuxue. He also felt helpless, but he couldn't disobey His Majesty's decision. This is really ridiculous. Wuqing raised his eyebrows and said, The Emperor of the Ming Dynasty actually did such a ridiculous thing. Let's not talk about this. When the time comes, we just need to do our best to protect the comfort of His Majesty. But Wuqing, after so many years, have you found the person from that year? Zhuge Jinghua said. Uncle, don't mention him. It's been so many years, and there is no news, Wuqing said with a cold face. Although her expression was cold, her tone was not cold at all. The he she mentioned was Zhaoyak. Her legs were cured by a pill from Zhaoyak. However, Zhaoyak suddenly disappeared later. Wuqing has been looking for Zhaoyak's traces for so many years, but nothing was found. This arsonist, I will make him look bad next time we meet, Wuqing swore secretly in his heart. The time he spent with Zhaoyak was the happiest time in Wuqing's life. Not only did it cure Wuqing's legs, but it also cured Wuqing's heart disease, allowing her to walk out of the shadow of her family being exterminated when she was young. Just when Wuqing thought that such days would continue forever, Zhaoyak disappeared. When the fate comes, we will naturally meet again, Zhuge Jinghua said lightly. Go and inform Lingxue, Taizhou, and Zhueming to release all the spies in the Xuanhuan Mansion and be sure to protect the safety of His Majesty. Remember to tell them that this matter must be kept secret, Zhuge Jinghua instructed. Yes, Wuqing nodded and left. Liaishanmen, Bushen and Guojuxia and others also took action, although Ji Yaohua, who was hiding in the Liaishanmen, did not know what happened specifically. She still reported the situation to her master and Shurgan. Then she followed her subordinates to patrol. All departments of the Ming Dynasty took action. The security of the capital city improved a lot. Many martial artists who wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to commit crimes were either arrested or killed on the spot. As the day of the duel between Yiguqing and Ximenqiuxue was getting closer, the capital of the Ming Dynasty also became quiet. All the martial artists who stayed behind were quietly waiting for the duel to come. They wanted to observe this rare event that only happens once in 100 years. Finally, this day came. Ximenqiuxue stood at the highest point of the Forbidden City early, dressed in white, holding a long sword. His clothes fluttered, like a banished immortal. Lu Xiaofeng, Chu Liuxiang, and Hua Manlu stood at the closest position, and all the other martial artists hid in what they thought was the best position to watch. Time passed slowly, and Ximenqiuxue did not move. At this time, his state had been adjusted to the best state of his life. However, Yiguqing still did not appear. The waiting martial artists were a little impatient. Why hasn't Yiguqing come yet? Is he afraid? Of course he is afraid. What a bullshit, Lord of Baiyun City, it's all bullshit. That's right, he doesn't even dare to come, and he's still challenging us. Isn't this just fooling us? It seems like there's no hope tonight. Zhu Hozhao, who was hiding in the dark, was a little impatient when he saw that Yiguqing hadn't appeared yet. Why hasn't this Yiguqing appeared yet? Come out quickly and have a good fight with Ximenqiuxue. I spent a lot of effort to come out and watch this duel. Don't let me down, Zhu Hozhao said lazily. Beside him, there were many masters guarding him, including Chao Jingchun, Yu Huatian, Zhuge Jinghua, Bushen, Guojuxia, and Zhu Wushi. There was also the eunuch Shenghe of Sanbao guarding him in secret. With such a powerful lineup, he could walk sideways in Jiuzhou. Zhu Hozhao felt that his safety was completely fine. so he didn't become alert. Seeing this, Zhu Wushi on the side became more determined. If the Ming dynasty is handed over to a person like Zhu Hozhao, it will be destroyed sooner or later. Zhu Wushi cannot watch the ancestral foundation destroyed. This is the reason he found for himself, and it is also the excuse he has been making. It seems that by saying this, he is not usurping the throne, but thinking about the country and society of the Ming dynasty. At this time, Yi Guqing was meeting with the eunuch Wang Zongguan. Lord Yi, His Majesty will stay there. Manager Wang pointed to the place where Zhu Hozhao was waiting in a very covert manner. Who are the people there? Yi Guqing asked coldly. Manager Wang described the people he had seen in detail, and then asked, City Lord Yi, are you really confident that he was taking a huge risk in doing this? If it succeeds, everything will be fine. Section 32. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If he failed and was discovered, he would be miserable. Oh, Yi Guqing sneered and left. He didn't bother to explain these unnecessary things. When Manager Wang saw this, he wanted to call Yi Guqing, but he was afraid of being exposed, so I could only worry, and then return to Zhu Hozhao, feeling very uneasy. Just when everyone couldn't wait any longer, Yi Guqing fell from the sky. Yi Guqing, I've been waiting for you for a long time. My sword has been waiting for a long time, Shimen said coldly. In that case, let's get started. Yi Guqing said lightly. Neither of them said much, they just drew their swords and started dueling. For a moment, the sword light shot out in all directions, and the sword energy was everywhere. On the top of the Forbidden City, a cold light suddenly appeared. The moon, at this moment, lost its color. Asking for comments, flowers and rating votes. Chapter 25. Swordsman, even if he knows he will die, he will never back down. Asking for flowers, rating votes, collections, and comments. Yi Guqing and Shimen were both warriors in the later stages of the Grand Master, and their fighting speed was very fast. It left behind a series of afterimages and streaks of white light in the sky. Many warriors who are not at a high level cannot see the sound of the two fighting at all, and can only hear the sound of the swords clashing. But this still does not hinder the passion of these warriors watching. It's wonderful, it's so exciting. The showdown between two top swordsmen makes people's blood boil with excitement. Brother, you are so excited, can you really see how the two of them move? Haha. It's not important. It's not important. It's good to feel the momentum. In the duel between Yi Guqing and Shimen Lu Xiaofeng and Chu Liuxiang could barely keep up with the speed of their moves. This is the first time I've seen Shimen moves be so brutal. It seems that only a good swordsman can inspire the potential of another good swordsman. Lu Xiaofeng sighed sincerely. Usually, when he and Shimen were drinking together, he only felt the coldness of the other party. Even if he made a move, it would be cold, but this time, Lu Xiaofeng felt passion coming from Shimen sword. It's important to fight against the strong. But the more important thing is to meet a good opponent. Yi Guqing is obviously a good opponent of Brother Shimen. The speed of the two attacks is getting faster and faster, and even I can't see clearly. Chu Liuxiang said with a smile, it was such a wonderful showdown to be able to see. This trip is not in vain. Just by listening to the sound of swords, I can already imagine how exciting this duel will be. Hua Manlu said calmly. Although Lu Xiaofeng also felt that the trip was worthwhile, he always felt that this duel was strange. He has never understood what Yi Guqing's motive was for sending a message of war to Shimen. This question has always troubled Lu Xiaofeng. Zhu Hozhao watched with gusto at first, but as the two of them moved faster and faster, he felt bored. It's boring, it's really boring. I can't even see how the two of them are fighting. Why are they fighting so fast? Can't you slow down a little and let me watch it? Zhu Hozhao said very dissatisfied. He came to watch the duel, not to listen to the sound. Now that I can't even see his figure clearly, why is he still here? A layman looks at the excitement, an expert looks at the door. Zhu Wuwu, Zhuge Zhenghua and others next to them could see it clearly. They were also amazed at the excitement of the battle between Yi Guqing and Shimen. They even began to ask themselves, could they have done this when they were in the late stage of the Grand Master? Your Majesty, there is no need to worry. It won't be long before their speed slows down. At that time, it will be a real life and death showdown, Zhuge Jinhua said calmly. Although the current battle between Ye Guqing and Shimen Chuexue is very exciting, the victory or defeat is often between a thought and a move. When it really comes time to decide the winner, both of them will stop and prepare for the final blow. The Lord Shen is right, they will have the final showdown soon, Guo Juxia said. He is the consultant of the 6 doors, and he knows everything about the world, and he has personally fought with many masters. Even if the top masters fight against each other, no matter how fancy the battle ahead is, in the end, it only takes one move to decide life or death. When Zhu Hozhao heard what the two said, he became interested again. He doesn't care who lives or dies, he only cares whether he enjoys watching it or not. The discussion among the spectators did not affect the speed of Ye Guqing and Shimen Chuexue's moves. To be precise, the two of them couldn't hear what others said at all. At this moment, the two of them only care about each other. Each move looks simple and ordinary, but there is a hidden murderous intention in it. If you are not careful, you will die under the opponent's sword. The two men took action without any reservation, and many palaces in the Forbidden City collapsed. Shocking cracks appeared on the ground. Not a single building within a radius of 500 meters was spared. They were all turned into rubble and ruins. Bang bang bang. After another exchange of blows, the two retreated at the same time. You are strong. Among the swordsmen I have met, you are the strongest, Shimen Chuexue said coldly. Even though he had just experienced a fierce battle, the expression on his face still did not change at all. Even the tone of speaking has not changed. It's a pity that you are not the strongest swordsman I have ever encountered. Even if I were in front of that man, I couldn't take any of his moves. He wanted to kill me. In a head-on confrontation, I didn't even have a chance to draw my sword. Ye Guqing said with calm eyes. What he was talking about was naturally Ying Ziyu. I really want to meet the master you mentioned. You have no chance. After the conversation, the two stopped talking and began to adjust their state. The next blow will be their strongest blow. This one blow can make the difference between life and death. Section 33. You are listening at novelfull.audio. People watching the game also know that the most exciting time will come next. Both swordsmen will use their strongest moves. The wind stopped at this moment, and dark clouds covered the moon. Everything around him was quiet, and everything in the world became silent. It seems that everyone is looking forward to the exciting attack between the two in the next confrontation. Here comes the sword, Shimen Chuexue shouted coldly. The Grand Master realm burst out in an instant. His clothes were as white as snow, and there was no emotion in his eyes. He only had Ye Guqing in his eyes. He only has the sword in his heart. He raised the sword in his hand and launched an attack without reservation. This sword was the strongest sword he had ever used in his life. And it was also the coldest and most ruthless sword. Wisps of blue cold air were released from the tip of the sword. It's so cold that even space is frozen. Flying fairy from heaven, Ye Guqing flew straight into the sky and used his strongest blow. The flying immortal from the sky is his own sword technique, which is formed by gathering the charm of the 8 immortals in the Shandong. It is as flawless as the blue sky and white clouds, striking from a high position. Ye Guqing's sword exuded cyan light, clearly showing the Grand Master's later stage. This sword is very fast. The strike of the sword was brilliant and swift. This sword is very cold. The icy cold sword energy raged unbridled, chilling even the bone marrow. The edge of this sword is so terrifying that it cannot be resisted. A ray of sword light flew diagonally, like a startling light and lightning, like a rainbow across the sky. The dazzling light illuminates the Ming Dynasty capital at night. The terrifying momentum made onlookers tremble with fear. Shimen Chuexue knew that he couldn't take this move, but he still waved his sword and faced it without hesitation. He is a swordsman. Even if he knows he will die, he must face him and never back down. Asking for comments, flowers and rating votes. Chapter 26. Should we secretly rescue him? Asking for flowers, rating votes, collections, and comments. Ming Dynasty Forbidden City. All the people in the arena who came to watch the battle held their breath at this moment and even blinked their eyes. They knew that the winner would be determined immediately. Everyone stared intently. This will be a moment to witness history. Warriors who are not advanced enough see how gorgeous and powerful the moves are. They are very excited to see such a duel. This is absolutely how it should be. It was so boring to fight like that just now. Now the moves are so gorgeous, it's very enjoyable just looking at them. Zhu Hozhao said very excitedly. He couldn't bear to miss the scene in front of him. After staying in the palace for such a long time, I finally saw some interesting things today. He just needs to take a good look at it. He did not realize at all that the decisive battle between Ye Gucheng and Shimen Chuexue at the top of the Forbidden City had a bad impact on the Ming Dynasty royal family. The Ming Dynasty was so big. Why did they have to duel in the Forbidden City? Zhu Hozhao didn't care so much and didn't pay attention to these things. He just wants to enjoy watching it. There were many people like Zhu Hozhao watching the game. However, the real master knew the outcome from the moment the two of them took action. Ye Gucheng's flying immortals are really terrifying. Brother Shimen, I'm afraid it's going to be very bad. Lu Xiaofeng's face was very anxious. Although Shimen Chuexue always had a cold face, no matter what, he was still Lu Xiaofeng's friend. Watching a friend die under someone else's sword was a very cruel thing for Lu Xiaofeng. However, Lu Xiaofeng could not stop this. Ye Gucheng's reputation as the flying immortal from heaven is indeed well deserved. This sword eclipses all the swordsmen in the world. I hope Brother Shimen can survive this sword attack. Chu Liuxiang said this just to comfort himself. He knew that there was a big gap between Shimen Chuexue and Ye Gucheng. From the last moves of the two people, it was vividly reflected. Listening to what you two said, isn't Brother Shimen really in danger? Hua Manlu was also very anxious, and her brows furrowed even more. In addition to the three of them, Zhu Wuwu, Zhuge Zhenhua, Wu Juxia and others around Zhu Hozhao also sighed helplessly and shook their heads. Ye Gucheng is far superior to Shimen Chuexue in terms of strength and swordsmanship. There is no suspense in this duel. It's a pity that Shimen Chuexue is a swordsman genius. If he is given enough time, he may not be able to be promoted to a land god. Zhuge Zheng was very sorry for me. He lamented that Ming Dynasty would lose such a top talent as Shimen Chuexue. Yeah, what a shame, Wu Juxia said calmly. He was used to seeing geniuses die, so he felt very calm. Only those who survive and reach the end can be called true geniuses. As long as the rest of the geniuses die midway, no matter how talented they are, it will be useless and will only become a talking point for future generations. It would be great if Shimen Chuexue joined our Dragon Protection Villa. His talent far exceeds that of a few people in Tianyao. Even among the forces I secretly cultivated, no one can surpass Shimen Chuexue. Moreover, this person only has the sword in his heart, unlike Tianyao and the others, who only think about the imperial court. Should I take action secretly and save him? Zhu Wuli thought to himself. After struggling for a while, he gave up the idea. Shimen Chuexue is indeed a genius, but it's not worth exposing your strength for him. What's more, the three treasure eunuchs are also being protected secretly. Zhu Wuli didn't want to expose his trump card. What's more, there is also Ye Gucheng. After the duel is over, you can try to win over Ye Gucheng. There is another more important reason. Zhu Wuwu feels that tonight is a good opportunity to kill the emperor. He has secretly sent people to hide in front of the warriors watching the battle. As long as you find an opportunity, you can take action. Of course, even if there is no opportunity, it doesn't matter. Zhu Yi has other arrangements. Zhu Hozhao seemed to have not heard what the three of them said, and looked straight at the final showdown between Ye Gucheng and Shimen Chuexue. Section 34. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Closer, closer. The two attacks are getting closer and closer, and they will soon collide. At this time, a sudden change occurred. When Ye Gucheng's Tianwei Feixian was about to collide with Shimen Chuexue, Ye Gucheng's movement suddenly changed. I saw his whole body spinning 360 degrees in the air. Using even faster speed, he rushed towards the place where Zhu Hozhao was hiding. Ye Gucheng's speed was so fast that the fierce friction with the air caused the long sword in his hand to emit a scorching temperature. There were afterimages left in the sky, and no one could catch Ye Gucheng's figure. Eunuch Sanbao was the first to react and said coldly, "Protect your majesty." After saying that, a long sword emitting golden light appeared in his hand. The power of the land gods was released instantly. Like thunder, the Sanbao eunuch launched an attack. Boom! The attacks of land gods can cause strange phenomena in the heaven and earth. the originally clear night sky suddenly became covered with dark clouds and thunder rolled from the sky. Die! The Sanbao eunuch took the Yongla sword in his hand and slashed at Yiguqing with a sword energy that was so powerful that it ripped apart the space. The golden sword energy carries the aura of a warrior in the realm of land gods. Among the onlookers, some of the weaker ones fainted on the spot. Yiguqing seemed to have not seen the sword energy, and still rushed towards Zhu Hozhao unwaveringly. Just when the sword energy was about to fall on Yiguqing, a long black knife stopped the sword energy. The Three Treasures Eunuch, the patron saint of the Ming Dynasty. Let me meet you today. That the person who spoke was really Jin Luo'er. He didn't say any more unnecessary nonsense and took a knife to attack the Sanbao eunuch. Land immortal, the realm of heaven and humanity. Eunuch Sanbao was shocked. He didn't expect that the other party had such a strong accomplice. Protect your majesty. After the eunuch Sanbao finished giving his instructions, he became calmer. Facing an opponent with the same strength as himself, there is absolutely no room for carelessness. You have to go all out. All this happened in just a moment. At this time, some warriors had come to their senses. Seeing the scene in front of them, they all knew that this duel itself was a conspiracy. Everyone also understood that Yiguqing wanted to assassinate the emperor. The martial artists present all had one thought in their minds: Yiguqing was crazy. If this thought dares to appear, I can feel the fluctuations caused by the confrontation between the gods of the two continents. On the palace, Shimen Chueshua stopped and felt a powerful insult. He was actually being used. Damn Yiguqing, I'm going to kill you. Shimen Chiki could no longer calm down. He thought it was the most passionate duel, and he was even prepared for death. As a result, it became what it is now. Shimen Chueshua couldn't accept it. He wanted to kill Yiguqing to vent his anger. I've finished cleaning up my house, and I'll start updating tomorrow, asking for comments, flowers and rating votes. Chapter 27, Overnight, the Ming Dynasty changed. Asking for flowers, rating votes, collections, and comments. Too bad, Yiguqing actually wants to assassinate the emperor. I have long realized that this duel is very unusual, but I didn't expect that Yiguqing would have such great ambitions. Lu Xiaofeng suddenly slapped her forehead. His expression was very regretful. Now it has happened, it was too late for him to stop it. I think we should stop Brother Shimen now. For him to rush forward like this is to die in a pointless manner. Chu Liuxiang suggested. He didn't expect Yiguqing to be so bold. He actually dared to assassinate the Ming Emperor in public, even with the help of land gods and gods. Such a move today is really too risky. How could the emperor of the Ming Dynasty only have a land fairy guarding him? There must be many masters out there. Chu Liuxiang didn't understand. What else did Yiguqing rely on? I agree with Xiang Shuai's suggestion. Brother Shimen cannot be allowed to die in vain. Even a great master like Brother Shimen may not be able to participate in the upcoming battle. Hua Manlu said calmly, even though his eyes couldn't see it. However, from a few words between Lu Xiaofeng and Chu Liuxiang, Hua Manlu can analyze how bad the situation in front of her is. The three of us take action together, Lu Xiaofeng said. Among the four of them, the strongest one is Shimen Chueshua. Lu Xiaofeng alone could never stop him. If we add Chu Liuxiang and Hua Manlu and the three of them take action together, then there will be no problem. Chu Liuxiang and Hua Manlu nodded. Then, the three of them took action together and started to stop Shimen Chueshua. Zhu Hozhao did not expect that the situation would suddenly change so drastically. It was a good showdown. Originally, the attack of one of them actually came towards him. Judging from Yiguqing's posture, he definitely wanted to kill himself. Zhu Hozhao panicked. Although he has been noisy that he is bored in the palace and wants to command the army to fight, however, when the moment of life and death finally came, he was still at a loss. My dear friends, you must protect me. Zhu Hozhao's face was pale and cold, and he said tremblingly. Your Majesty, don't worry. Even if I risk my life, I will definitely protect you, Chao Jingchun said with a cold face. Section 35. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He must risk his life to protect the emperor. The status he has today was all given by the emperor. If the emperor is killed, his status will definitely not be preserved. Those who have offended him will definitely eat him alive. For the sake of his own life, Chao Jingchun would never allow Yiguqing's assassination to succeed. Yu Huatian said nothing, holding a sword and looking seriously at Yi Guqing, who was attacking quickly. Xichang is absolutely loyal to the emperor, even if he died for the emperor. Yu Weishan did not complain at all. Zhuge Zhenhua, Catcher, Guizhixia and others are all ready to take action at any time, only Zhu ignored it. After seeing Yi Guqing's actions, he felt ecstatic in his heart. What a God-sent opportunity. Zhu Wuli thought to himself. Before that, she was still looking for opportunities. Unexpectedly, Yi Guqing personally handed over the opportunity. If this is not grasped properly, Zhu Wuwu will feel sorry for his many years of arrangements. Eunuch Chao, Eunuch Yu, and Marquis Shen, the three of you will lead His Majesty back to the palace. Leave Yi Guqing to me, Catcher, and Guizhixia to deal with it. Zhu Wuwu stepped in front of everyone and began to give orders. He is the emperor's uncle, and he is the emperor here, which means that his status is the most noble and prominent. At the moment, the emperor was so frightened that his mind went blank. It would be most appropriate for Zhu Wuli to make various arrangements. Listen to your uncle, listen to your arrangements. Take me back to the palace quickly. Zhu Hozhao said hurriedly. Chao Jingchun glanced at Zhu Wuwu and did not argue. Right now, protecting His Majesty is the most important thing, and there is no problem if Zhu ignores this arrangement. This is the most dangerous place. It would be better to take His Majesty away as soon as possible. Even if they weren't trying to avoid Yi Guqing, there were still two land warriors fighting in the sky. If you fail to control it and hurt His Majesty, it will be a death penalty. Chao Jingchun, Yu Huatian and Zhuge Zheng were protecting Zhu Hozhao and were about to leave. But before they could take a few steps, several warriors wearing black clothes and holding black knives suddenly appeared and stopped them. If you dare to block the road, you will die. Chao Jingchun gathered his inner strength into his hands and slapped someone hard. Marquis Shen, protect your Majesty. After Yu Weishan said coldly, he rushed forward with his sword and started to attack. Zhu Wuwu, Zhu Shen, and Guizhixia also found their opponents and began to tangle with these mysterious warriors. Zhuge Zhenhua squinted his eyes, looking very frightened. So many great master warriors suddenly appeared, but he didn't notice them at all. How do these people hide around? Who are these people? Zhuge Zhenhua had many thoughts in his mind. At this moment, the hair on his body suddenly exploded, and he hurriedly took Zhu Hozhao away from the place. As soon as he left, a man with a dagger appeared on the spot. Quite vigilant. But it's no use, the visitor said coldly, pointed a dagger at Zhuge Zhenhua and started to attack. Because Zhuge Zhenhua was carrying Zhu Hozhao, it was very inconvenient for him to move and he was quickly injured. The assassin holding the dagger found the opportunity to separate Zhu Hozhao and Zhuge Zhenhua. Do it, the assassin said to Yi Guqing. Yi Guqing seized the opportunity and his attack speed suddenly increased. In the next second, the distance between him and Zhu Hozhao was shortened by more than half. His Majesty, when Chao Jingchun saw this, he shouted out. Tiangang Boy Kung Fu. All rivers return to the sea. Chao Jingchun tried his best, ignored the assassin's attack, and turned around to protect Zhu Hozhao. An internal force shield rose around his body. Yu Weishan and others also hurriedly got rid of their opponents and wanted to save Zhu Hozhao. Zhu Wulan stared closely. Yi Guqing was very fast, like a bolt of lightning. In the blink of an eye, the sword stopped at Zhu Hozhao's heart. Yi Guqing's attack was just right. He did not kill Zhu Hozhao, but also seriously injured him. This assassination took a very short time. From the time Yi Guqing took action to the success of the assassination, it took less than a cup of tea. Retreat. When Jin Luo'er saw that his action was successful, he forced the Sanbao eunuch back with one blow and said immediately, their plan was to assassinate Zhu Hozhao. After success, there was no need to stay any longer. This is the rule of the watchman. Mission successful. Retreat immediately. Every watcher must abide by the rules and obey them. Yi Guqing and others immediately stopped, displayed their ghostly movements, and immediately left the Ming Palace. Eunuch Sanbao and others did not care to continue the pursuit. They were going to see how His Majesty was doing. Seal the palace immediately. We cannot let these onlookers leave. Eunuch Sanbao said immediately. However, what he said was a bit late. Some warriors have already left. Eunuch Sanbao also knows this, and all he can do now is make up for it as much as possible. Soon, the gates of the Forbidden City were closed. There were 3 times more guards patrolling than usual. There were also twice as many guards as usual at the gates of the Ming capital. Everyone is fully armed. Overnight, the world of Ming Dynasty changed. What happened tonight is destined to go down in history. The warriors who came to watch were shocked and felt that tonight was not in vain. Not only did he watch the duel between the two top swordsmen, he also witnessed the assassination of the emperor of the Ming Dynasty. As the news spread among the warriors, the whole Ming Dynasty knew that the emperor had been assassinated. As for whether the emperor was dead or not, different versions spread in the martial arts world every day. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the palace, waiting for specific news from inside. Please comment, please give me flowers and votes. Section 36. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 28, The entire Ming Dynasty is in chaos, and the gold list reappears. Asking for flowers, rating votes, collections, and comments, Zhu Hozhao remained unconscious. All matters in the Ming Dynasty were handled by the Queen Mother and Zhu Wuli. After Zhu Wuli took power, the first thing he did was to arrest Chao Jingchun, because Zhu Hozhao's order to go to the scene to inspect the duel was given to the departments of Xichang, Lumen and Shenhou Mansion through Chao Jingchun. Therefore, the reason why Zhu ignored it was that Chao Jingchun and Yi Guqing colluded to frame His Majesty. Although Chao Jingchun tried his best to claim that he was wronged, no one believed him. At this time, Zhu Hozhao was also assassinated and remained in a coma. A scapegoat must be introduced. The disputes in the court were not over yet, and the vassal kings from various parts of the Ming Dynasty also began to take action. King Nan and King Ning, in the name of Qingjun, said that Zhu Wuli was a traitor and wanted to raise troops to serve the king. Warfare broke out all over the Ming Dynasty. This is not over yet. There are also undercurrents surging in the world. Shimen Chuexue was knocked unconscious and taken away by Lu Xiaofeng, Chu Liuxiang and Hua Manlu. As soon as he woke up, he took his sword and wanted to take revenge on Yi Guqing. What happened in the Forbidden City was really a great shame to him. The other major forces also made considerable moves. The court, the rivers, and lakes were all in chaos. The entire Ming Dynasty turned into a mess. Ying Ziyu looked at the information about daming in his hand and smiled with a slight smile. This feeling of being behind the scenes and controlling everything is really enjoyable. A person like me, in novels, should be the kind of villain, Ying Ziyu thought to himself. Has Yi Guqing made arrangements? Ying Ziyu asked. The arrangements have been made. Soon, he will appear with a new identity. It won't arouse the slightest suspicion from others. Jean Luoyi said. Ying Ziyu nodded, then waved his hand. Jean Luoyi then left. Congratulations to the master for the success of the plan. The Ming Dynasty is completely in chaos. Jiang Yuyan said with a smile. The admiration in her eyes became even stronger. The man in front of him, without leaving home, plunged a prosperous dynasty into unprecedented chaos. This ability is really fascinating. This kind of Kyushu is more interesting. The previous Kyushu was really boring, Ying Ziyu said with a smile. As long as the Qin Dynasty is not in chaos, the more chaos the other countries have, the better. This time the target is daming, and Ying Ziyu is still considering the next target. Although today's Ming Dynasty seems to be very chaotic, Ying Ziyu knows that this chaos will not last long. The two men, King Nan and King Ning, seem to be very powerful in raising their troops. In fact, it is just an illusion, and it will not take long before they will be wiped out by the imperial army. As for the chaos in the world of Ming Dynasty, it is not worth mentioning for Ming Dynasty. With Sanbao eunuch here, there will be no chaos in the world of Ming Dynasty. With the current national strength of the Ming Dynasty, this incident will at most consume part of the national strength. It's not enough to destroy the Ming Dynasty. Seeing that Ying Ziyu was deep in thought, Jiang Yuyan slowly stood up and left without disturbing Ying Ziyu. Seeing that the Ming Dynasty was in chaos, the Qin Dynasty, the Han Dynasty, the Sui Dynasty, the Tang Dynasty, the Northern and Southern Song Dynasties, as well as the foreign races such as the Yuan Dynasty and the Qin Dynasty all made changes. Especially the Qin Dynasty, which borders the Ming Dynasty, took this opportunity to invade Shanhaiguan many times, trying to break through, but was stopped by the Ming Dynasty's army. The undercurrents of the Ming Dynasty are surging, and the rivers and lakes of other countries are not stopping either. The emergence of the Tianjiao list has made the battles between the rivers and lakes in Kyushu more frequent. Vendettas, martial arts contests, life and death battles, etc. happen every day. Many people die every day. Boom. The sky trembled violently, the black-red light flourished, illuminating the entire Kyushu. Dragons and phoenixes fly in the air. At this moment, everyone in Kyushu stopped what they were doing and raised their heads to look into the sky. Sui Imperial Palace. Yang Guang had disheveled hair and looked at the sky with red eyes. At this time, he didn't have the appearance of an emperor at all, but he had the image of a complete madman. 1 month is here so soon. The 9 provinces talent list appears again, and Chen Jingqiu is not dead yet. He must die. Yang Guang said through gritted teeth. On the previous list, De Sui was the only one on the list. However, this person happened to be a descendant of the Qin kingdom that was destroyed by the Sui dynasty. Yang Guang would rather have nothing to gain in the Sui dynasty than Chen Jingqiu to be on the list. This is a mockery of the imperial family of the Sui dynasty. It was even more a mockery of Yang Guang. Yang Guang, who loves face very much, simply can't stand this kind of slap in the face. Therefore, Ang Guang secretly sent out Zhua Zhao's cavalry guard to kill Chen Jingqiu. The Zhua Ziyu were 13 warriors among the Hu and Han people who were brave and good at fighting. Regardless of whether they were good or evil or born, they used the name of mythical beasts to assassinate and eliminate the enemies of the emperor. This is the organization in Yang Guang's hands that has been doing the dirty work. Now a month has passed, and Zhua Ziyu still hasn't sent back any news. This shows that Chen Jingqiu is not dead yet. Yang Guang's patience has gradually been worn away. Tang Dynasty Palace. After Li Shimin learned about Daming's affairs, he did not take direct action. The Tang Dynasty and the Ming Dynasty were not adjacent to each other. At present, the biggest enemy of the Tang Dynasty is the Sui Dynasty. Master Yuan, the Tianjiao list is open again. Will anyone from our Tang Dynasty be on the list this time? Li Shimin asked with some anticipation. This month, he has been looking forward to the release of the Tianjiao list again. I hope that someone from the Tang Dynasty can be on the list. Even one person will be a comfort to Li Shimin. This, I am not sure. There were some seedlings among the bad people before. But not long ago, we secretly fought with the Zhua Ziyu of the Sui dynasty many times, and there were casualties on both sides. Many seedlings died in the battle. Section 37. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yuan Tiangang said in a deep voice. A month ago, he noticed that the left cavalry guard of the Great Sui dynasty had made some moves, so he sent people to inquire about the news, but his whereabouts were accidentally leaked. The two sides fought many times in a row, but that place was the territory of the Great Sui dynasty after all, and Yuan Tiangang's bad people were not strong. Therefore, there were not many casualties on their own, but only 2 of the left cavalry guards were seriously injured. The left cavalry guard, this is indeed a very troublesome organization. Yang Guang sent them all out this time, probably to kill that Chen Jingqiu. Li Shimin said very affirmatively. His eyes were burning at the Tianjiao list, although Yuan Tiangang said that the possibility of being on the list was not high. However, Li Shimin still had a little expectation in his heart. The next second, new words began to appear on the Tianjiao list in the air. The Jiuzhou Tianjiao list, the 20th to 11th place officially opened. Warriors under the age of 30 can enter the list with their strength, talent, and luck. Tianjiao list, 20th place. Di Yun. Identity, apprentice of Qi Changfa of the Ming Dynasty, grandson of Mei Niancheng. Realm, mid-stage grandmaster. Kung Fu, Shenzheijing, Zudeijing, Zanqijianfa. Reward, Xian level top-grade elixir, Qianyuan Zaowaden, which can open one's mind, increase one's comprehension by 50%, and increase one's internal strength by 80 years. The internal strength contains the changes of heaven and earth. Please comment, please give flowers and votes. Chapter 29 Shenzheijing will make people unhappy. Please give flowers, votes, collections, comments. I didn't expect that he could be on the list. Ying Ziyu said with a smile. Jiang Yuyan had just returned to Ying Ziyu's side, and asked with a smile, Master, do you know this Di Yun? She thought about it in her mind, and she didn't have any impression of Di Yun. This person's experience is extremely tragic. The Shenzheigong he practiced is an extremely powerful internal energy technique. But in my opinion, this is a technique that will make the owner unfortunate. Of course, I am an exception. Ying Ziyu said lightly, he had learned Shenzhegang from the system a long time ago. Why does the master say this about Shenzhegang? How can a top internal energy technique make people unfortunate? Jiang Yuyan asked in confusion. In her cognition, the more powerful the technique is, the more powerful it can make people become. How can it make people unfortunate? It said on the list that Di Yun is Mei Nianqing's apprentice. This Mei Nianqing is a famous figure in the Jiangnan martial arts world of the Ming Dynasty, known as Jiuzhou. He possesses two great skills, Shenjiao Gong and Lianqing swordsmanship. But Mei Nianqing's vision in taking in apprentices is not very good. He has a total of 3 apprentices, the eldest apprentice Wan Jinshan, the 5-cloud hand, the second apprentice Yan Daping, the land dragon, and the third apprentice Qi Changfa, the iron chain across the river, all of whom are unworthy. Mei Nianqing knows that his 3 apprentices have bad character. He didn't teach them all his unique skills, but taught them a lot of fancy and impractical moves. Mei Nianqing's Lianqing sword manual involves the secret of a treasure. His 3 disciples joined forces to plot against their master and seize the sword manual, but Mei Nianqing was soft-hearted and finally defeated by his disciples, and was even plotted against by Qi Changfa. Mei Nianqing was the first person to become unfortunate because of Shenjiao Gong. Ying Ziyu explained the grievances between Mei Nianqing and his 3 disciples in detail. In his opinion, Mei Nianqing was not a good person either. Although he was called Jiuzhou, he had a lot of bad intentions. Since he knew that the 3 disciples had bad character, he still accepted them as disciples. After accepting them as disciples, he didn't think about teaching them well and changing their personalities, but taught them some fancy moves. At the critical moment, he was still soft-hearted and was seriously injured by his disciples. Jiuzhou actually has such a master-disciple relationship. What a joke! After listening to this, Jiang Yuyan was also very surprised. Master-disciple, father-son, master, meaning that the master is like the father. For the so-called treasure, he actually wanted to kill his master. If it were Jiang Yuyan, she would have cleanly and neatly dealt with these 3 disciples with 1 palm each. To be able to teach such disciples, if I were to say, this Mei Nianqing is not a good person. Jiang Yuyan said very confidently, learning from the master for many years, the disciple will definitely follow the master's kind of person. Before the incident of Jiang Biehe was exposed, he was still known as the Jiangnan hero. It can be seen that this so-called title is not reliable, and everything still depends on seeing it with your own eyes. What's more, these are the only 3 disciples of Mei Nianqing who attacked him together. Imagine love, if Mei Nianqing is good to his 3 disciples on weekdays, will the 3 of them work together to attack Mei Nianqing? The next person who became unfortunate because of the Shenzhegang. This person is called Ding Dian. He can be said to have been harmed by Mei Nianqing. He was originally a descendant of a martial arts family in Jingmen. He accidentally saved Mei Nianqing. Before Mei Nianqing died, he taught Ding Dian the Shenzheijing and the treasure Lianchengju. After Mei Nianqing died, he buried Mei Nianqing and erected a tombstone for Mei Nianqing. Martial arts heroes from all over the world came to visit him to find out the secrets left by Mei Nianqing. Ding Dian had to flee to the rivers and lakes. Later, Ding Dian met Ling Xuanhuan, the daughter of Hanlin Ling Tuisi, and fell in love with him at first sight. Later, Ding Dian was seriously injured by a disciple of the Blood Knife sect. Ling Hanlin moved his family soon after Ding Dian was injured. Ying Ziyu said this and took a sip of tea. Then, Ying Ziyu continued, later, Ding Dian found Ling Xuanhua and told Ling Xuanhua about Lianqing Ju. This matter was later known by Ling Tuisi. He coveted Lianqing Ju in Ding Dian's hands, so he pretended to agree to their marriage, secretly ambushed Ding Dian, imprisoned Ding Dian, and tortured him every day. Ding Dian has unparalleled martial arts and could have easily escaped, but just to see the chrysanthemums that Ling Xuanhua placed in the window every day, he was willing to stay in prison and suffer the regular torture, and Ling Xuanhua also disfigured himself to show his determination. In the play Lianqing Ju, Ding Dian is one of the few good people. However, in Ying Ziyu's opinion, Ding Dian is indeed a fool. He obviously has peerless martial arts and can take his beloved away, but he is willing to be imprisoned. This Ding Dian is really stupid. But, he is also very infatuated. Jiang Yuyan disdains Ding Dian's behavior, but at the same time, she feels a little sad about Ding Dian's infatuation. However, Jiang Yuyan will definitely not be as stupid as Ding Dian. Her beloved is right beside her. She will protect the one she loves at all costs. If someone wants to destroy or take advantage of this love, she will make the other person regret coming to this world. The third unfortunate person is Di Yun. He is Qi Changfa's apprentice. Wang Jinshan invited Qi Changfa to visit. Wang Jinshan suspected that Qi Changfa had learned the Lianqing sword technique, so he lured Qi Changfa into the room and killed him. Section 38. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Jinshan faked the scene and falsely accused Qi Changfa of injuring him and escaped. He also set up a trap to falsely accuse Di Yunkai of being a rapist and thief and sent him to death row. Ding Dian, who lived in the same room, thought he was a spy and punched him. Di Yun stayed in prison for more than 3 years. Hearing that his junior sister was married to Wang Jinshan's son Wang Gui, he committed suicide out of despair. Despairing all hope, Ding Dian also understood that Di Yun was not a spy when he hanged himself, and used the Shenjiao Jing to save him. Subsequently, Ding Dian told Di Yun what happened to him. Later, Ding Dian taught the Divine Light Sutra to Di Yun. Ding Dian could not let go of Ling Xuanhuan and escaped from prison with Di Yun. Unexpectedly, Xuanhuan is dead, and her father, Ling Tusi, the prefect, smeared poison on his daughter's coffin. When Ding Dian was holding the coffin and crying bitterly, he was poisoned by this hopeless poison. Before Ding Dian died, he entrusted Di Yun with the hope of being buried with Xuanhua and informed him of some of the city-connecting secrets. Later, Ying Ziyu talked about Di Yun's experience in the Snow Valley. According to the information sent back by the watchman, Di Yun, Hua Taigan and the Blood Knife ancestor are still trapped in the Snow Valley. Shui Sheng is not in the Snow Valley like in the original work. After hearing what the master said, this Shenjiao Jing is really an unknown skill. Everyone who practices it will encounter various misfortunes. Of course, my handsome and martial master is an exception. The master is so powerful that he will not encounter any misfortune. Jiang Yuyan said with a smile. When she looked at Ying Ziyu, the light in her eyes shone brighter and brighter. Ying Ziyu is everything to her. "Ha, your little mouth is so sweet." Ying Ziyu rewarded Jiang Yuyan on the face. Jiang Yuyan lowered her head shyly, and her face suddenly turned red, asking for comments, flowers and rating votes. Chapter 30 Song Huizong. I am very interested in Li Xuanhuan. Asking for flowers, rating votes, collections, and comments. Daming, Snow Mountain. Di Yun was stunned when he saw himself on the list. He didn't expect that he would be so strong. Looking at the elixir in his hand, Di Yun knew that all this was not a dream. Unexpectedly, my strength has reached the middle stage of Grand Master. I would have never dared to think about it before. Di Yun murmured. At this time, heavy snow came. A bald monk wearing monk robes rushed over with a knife. This person is the ancestor of the Blood Knife, the 4th generation leader of the Qinghai Black Sect's Blood Knife sect. "Boy, give me the elixir in your hand, and I will spare your life," that the Blood Knife ancestor said with a ferocious face. He stared closely at the Xuanhuan creation pill in Di Yun's hand. The greed in his eyes was not concealed at all. If he hadn't killed Lu Tianshu, Lu Qingfeng, and Shui Dai just now, he would now be at the end of his tether due to lack of internal strength. The speed of his attack must be faster. "Little brother, you must not do it. Give me the elixir quickly. I am the invincible Hua Taigan from the Luo Hua Lu Shui of the 4 Wonders of the South. Only by giving me the elixir can we have a chance of survival." Hua Taigan looked at the Xuanhuan creation pill with great jealousy in his eyes. "The desire in my heart has long since defeated the fear just now, and I have completely forgotten how I knelt down and begged for mercy just now." However, he did not have enough courage to rush forward and compete with the Blood Knife ancestor for the elixir. Hua Taigan was frightened by the strength of the Blood Knife ancestor just now. He could only hope that Di Yun could hand over the elixir to him. "Don't even think about it." Di Yun swallowed the pill without even thinking. For a moment, Di Yun felt that his brain became extremely clear. Everything that Shen Zhaojing didn't understand before was now fully understood. 80 years of internal energy also flowed in like Wang Yang and circulated rapidly in Di Yun's body. he had never felt so happy as he did now. Damn little thief, he actually took my pill and is seeking death. That the blood knife ancestor was furious, for him, as long as it is something he likes, that already belongs to him. Yun saw that the blood knife ancestor had already rushed forward and kicked him over. This attack was also very fast. The blood knife ancestor reacted and just wanted to dodge, but Yun's attack changed direction strangely. This time, he kicked the blood knife ancestor directly in the lower abdomen. Due to the practice of Shinjiao Jing, Yun's internal energy was already very powerful. In addition, taking the Xuanhuan creation pill increased his internal energy for 80 years, the power of this kick was surprisingly strong, and the body of the blood knife ancestor suddenly flew into the air like a cloud and mist. Yun also didn't understand why his attack suddenly changed direction. Hua Taigan on the side has already figured out what is going on. It must be the internal force mentioned on the list that contains the changes in the universe. What is Qinquan? Heaven and earth. In other words, Yun's internal energy has changed dramatically since then. If you use this well and then fight against others, the other party will not be able to figure out the attack route at all. Just thinking about it, you can already know how powerful it is. Thinking of this, Hua Taiqian felt extremely sour in his heart. Although they are both warriors, his reputation is even greater than that of Yun. But because he is older, he cannot be on the list. At this time, Hua Taigan wished he was 20 or 30 years younger. In this case, he will definitely be on the list. Huh, boy, even you want to kill me. It's just a daydream. That the blood blade patriarch laughed and jumped high, spinning in the air. Finally, he fell straight down with his head upside down, and with a rustle, he was inserted straight into the snow, several feet deep, with only a pair of feet exposed on the snow surface, and he remained motionless. Yun walked forward to check and confirm that the blood blade patriarch was dead. He also sat on the snow with a sigh of relief. Little brother is really a hero of the time. You killed the blood blade patriarch with your own strength and eliminated the harm to the martial arts world. After I get out, I will definitely spread the news of your Ming Dynasty. Hua Taigan said in a fake manner. He even put on a classic fake smile on his face. He was just about to blurt out 2 flowers. Yun waved his hands helplessly. Because the snow valley was sealed, he could only wait for the spring in the snow valley before he could leave the snow valley. What to do after getting out, Yun had no idea. At this time, the text on the Tianjiao list changed again. Tianjiao list, 19th place. Li Xuanhuan. Identity, the winner of the imperial examination of the Ming Dynasty. Area, late Grandmaster. Section 39. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Exercise techniques, Shao Li's flying knife, Dragonfly's 3-step water, reward, Xian level top grade weapons, 36 3-inch and 7-minute long cold light flying knives. After use, the power of the flying knives can be increased by 50%. It contains the Xian level skill cold light technique. After practice, the flying knives can freeze when they hit. Stay in his tendons and internal strength for half an hour. The imperial palace of the northern Song dynasty. After Song Huizong Zhao Ji saw Li Xuanhuan on the list, he became very interested. Being able to become the court tester of the Ming dynasty proves that Li Xuanhuan's knowledge level is very powerful. He is also a martial artist in the later stage of the Grand Master, and his martial arts attainments are not low. This is both civil and military in the true sense. The Ming dynasty is really full of talents, and there is a figure like Li Xuanhuan. Huang Aiqing, have you ever heard of Li Xuanhuan before? That Zhao Ji couldn't wait to ask Huang Shang beside him. He seemed to know everything about Li Xuanhuan now. Previously, Zhao Ji had always felt that the people on the list were all vulgar martial artists. Now after seeing Li Xuanhuan, Zhao Ji's views on the Tianjiao list have changed slightly. He even thought about whether he could be number 1 if a calligraphy ranking was published in the future. I've heard of him. He's a handsome man. It is rumored that his self-made Shaoli flying knife is always on target. It was ranked 3rd in the weapons spectrum by Bai Shaoxing of the Ming dynasty. Although Bai Shaoxing's knowledge is very limited, his ranking of Li Xuanhuan is either lower or higher. Li Xuanhuan's true strength is very terrifying. It's just that this person has some flaws in his character, and he will be very entangled when encountering things. Huang Shang told what he learned clearly and in detail. the Northern Song Dynasty and the Ming Dynasty were not bordering each other, and the current enemies of the Northern Song Dynasty were Xixia, Liao Dynasty and Qin Dynasty. Huang Shang focused all his thoughts on facing the three kingdoms. For Ming Dynasty, only some people from the Imperial City Department were sent to collect some intelligence regularly. Upon hearing that Li Xuanhuan was a handsome man, Zhao Ji became more energetic and immediately asked, Huang Aiqing, is there any way to get Li Xuanhuan to join us in the Song Dynasty? That he is handsome, has good martial arts skills, and is well educated, even if such a person does not participate in the government affairs and is just placed in the court, it is still a good thing for a fun-loving emperor like Zhao Ji. I can give it a try. Huang Shang thought for a while and said, this request is not too much. Besides, if Li Xuanhuan can be recruited, he can be trained well. He may not be able to become an effective general in the Northern Song Dynasty in the future, or an important minister in the court. Of course, Huang Shang mainly saw that Zhao Ji was very interested in Li Xuanhuan. He thought that by bringing Li Xuanhuan here, he could try to make the emperor change, asking for comments, asking for flowers, asking for evaluation votes, and asking for comments. Chapter 31 Lin Shirin was on the list. Long Xiaoyun panicked. Asking for flowers, rating votes, collections, and comments. Ming Dynasty, Li Yuan. Cousin, this is my savior and my new eldest brother, Long Xiaoyun. Li Xuanhuan said to Lin Shirin. Hello, brother Long. Lin Shirin's attitude was neither salty nor cool. Long Xiaoyun, who was opposite him, was stunned on the spot after seeing Lin Shirin's appearance clearly. Beautiful, so beautiful, he had never seen such a beautiful woman. At this moment, Long Xiaoyun had even thought about what his child would be called in the future. Brother Long, what's wrong with you? Li Xuanhuan asked with great concern when he saw that Long Xiaoyun had not responded. No. It's okay. I was attracted by Miss Lin's beauty just now. As soon as Long Xiaoyun said these words, he also realized that his words were a bit rash. Immediately, he bowed to Lin Shirin and apologized. I said the wrong thing, please don't mind Miss Lin. Lin Shirin frowned, her face covered with frost. Having said such words as soon as they met, this Long Xiaoyun was obviously not a good person. Moreover, Lin Shirin just now clearly noticed that when Long Xiaoyun looked at her, his expression was very wrong, and his eyes were full of desire. This made Lin Shirin very unhappy. On weekdays, she didn't even pay much attention to her cousin Li Xuanhuan, and she didn't even see the other men, just to wait for Ziyuk, the heartless man. Brother Long, you don't have to be like this. My cousin won't mind. Li Xuanhuan said with a smile. He had always been carefree and dissolute, and he didn't take Long Xiaoyun's words to heart. Naturally, he couldn't notice anything strange about Long Xiaoyun. It's true that I was rude, I hope Miss Lin doesn't mind. On the surface, Long Xiaoyun seemed to be apologizing very sincerely. However, when he looked at Lin Shirin, there was still a strong possessiveness in his eyes. Lin Shirin said coldly, Cousin, don't introduce those messy friends you know to me casually in the future. I don't want to know anyone. She didn't mention her name directly, but her meaning was clearly expressed. Cousin, what do you mean? Li Xuanhuan asked with a frown. At this time, the words that Li Xuanhuan was on the list appeared on the list of geniuses. Congratulations to my dear brother for being on the list of geniuses. Starting from today, my good brother's name will be spread throughout all 9 states. Long Xiaoyun said with a smile. There was a hint of jealousy in his eyes. However, he concealed it well and soon returned to normal. Li Xuanhuan looked at the flying knife that appeared in his hand, and felt a chill coming to his face. What a treasure! Li Xuanhuan couldn't put it down and looked at it carefully. These 36 flying knives are of much better quality than the flying knives he made himself. As soon as he touched his hand, he felt a chill, which instantly made Li Xuanhuan calm down and his brain became extra clear. Thank you, brother. With my eldest brother's talent, if it weren't for his age, he would be better than me. It will definitely be on the list. Li Xuanhuan put away the throwing knife and said with a smile, being able to become famous on the list and obtain a handy treasure is a matter worth celebrating for Li Xuanhuan. He is also a young nobleman from an aristocratic family who loves to wear bright clothes and is fond of romance. Naturally, I won't feel that being on the list is a worry. We must have a good drunken time today, Long Xiaoyun said with a smile. Section 40. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ms. Lin, do you want to come with us? Long Xiaoyun asked seemingly casually. In fact, from Lin Shirin's words just now, Long Xiaoyun had already realized that he might be disliked. However, Long Xiaoyun would never give up so easily. He must get Lin Shirin, no matter what method you use. No, I don't want to know you. From now on, you don't have to appear in front of me. Lin Shirin said lightly, turned and left. She had just seen all of Long Xiaoyun's performances. She also gave Long Xiaoyun an evaluation in her heart: lustful, greedy, hypocrite. These words are very suitable to describe Long Xiaoyun. Brother Long, don't mind. A few years ago, my cousin suddenly changed her personality. From now on, I will not communicate with strange men. Even if it's me and the men in my family, my cousin tries to avoid meeting them as much as possible. Li Xuanhuan told what he knew about the situation. In his opinion, although these changes in his cousin were strange, he didn't take it to heart. He spends all day immersed in the life he likes. I don't know how many stunning beauties he had had secret meetings with, and when he wasn't holding a throwing knife or a wine glass in his hand, he didn't know how many pairs of spring onion-like catkins he held in his hands. He is handsome, talented, rich, and romantic by nature, so naturally a large number of women will fall for him. Otherwise, with his late master's cultivation, how could he cough non-stop every day and look sick and without any energy? Have you asked a doctor to take a look at it for Miss Lin? Long Xiaoyun asked very worriedly. Looking at his posture, he was more worried than he was sick. Of course I've seen it. My cousin is not seriously ill. Li Xuanhuan said. He also realized that Long Xiaoyun's state seemed a little wrong. However, he didn't think much about it. Brother Long, we won't come home until you and I are drunk today, Li Xuanhuan said with a smile. Good, Long Xiaoyun readily agreed. Before leaving, he looked at the place where Lin Shirin disappeared, looking a little reluctant to leave. Just when the two were about to leave, the text of the list has changed again. 13th place on the list of geniuses. Lin Shirin. Identity: the daughter of Wui Demon Sword, the master of the Ming Dynasty Demon Sword Sect. Realm, Grandmaster Perfection. Kung Fu, Purple Thunder Sword Technique, 7 limits of devouring heaven and destroying earth. Reward, Xian level top grade elixir, Purple Jade Xianin Pill. After taking it, you can obtain the Purple Jade Xianin body, which will greatly improve your understanding, foundation, talent, understanding of martial arts, and increase the power of the technique. Li Xuanhuan and Long Xiaoyun were stunned on the spot when they saw the names on the list. Number 18, Lin Shirin. My cousin is actually on the list, 1 place higher than me. This. Li Xuanhuan's face was filled with shock. If it weren't for the conspicuous name and identity on the list, he would have thought that he had seen it wrong, or that it was someone with a similar name. Xuanhuan, is it really Miss Lin who is on the list? Long Xiaoyun asked in disbelief. Not long ago, he destroyed an unpopular sect called the Demon Sword Sect. Li Xuanhuan nodded. It's over, Long Xiaoyun thought to himself, although he did not personally take action in the Demon Slayer Sword Sect, but directed it from behind. He might not let anyone who is interested discover the clues. If Lin Shirin found out about this, his life would definitely be in danger. He has never entered the Master Realm of Warriors. How can he deal with the Masters of the Perfect Realm? No, I have to follow Li Xuanhuan closely. Long Xiaoyun quickly made up his mind. He wanted to follow Li Xuanhuan all the time, so that when Lin Shirin came to visit, he would still have someone to help him talk. Asking for comments, asking for flowers, asking for evaluation votes, and asking for comments. Chapter 32. My good nephew, you must die quickly. Asking for flowers, rating votes, collections, and comments. I really didn't expect that my cousin is so powerful. Before, I always felt that my cousin was not very strong. It turns out that my cousin has always kept a low profile. Li Xuanhuan felt an inexplicable feeling in his heart for a moment. I am very happy that my cousin has such strong strength. There is also a sense of loss of being surpassed by my cousin. At this time, he just wanted to have a good drink and get drunk. Use this to resolve all kinds of thoughts in your mind. Brother Xian, what's wrong with you? Long Xiaoyun asked. He was very eager. Those who didn't know better thought he was caring about Li Xuanhuan. In fact, He was worried about himself. If something unexpected happened to Li Xuanhuan at this time, when Lin Shirin wants to kill herself in the future, who can stop her? It's okay, brother, don't worry. Let's go drink. Li Xuanhuan shook his head and sighed. Long Xiaoyun didn't say anything more and followed Li Xuanhuan away. At the same time, people in Kyushu were stunned when they saw Lin Shirin on the list. They had never heard of Lin Shirin before, so why did they suddenly appear on the list of geniuses? Moreover, his strength has reached the state of master perfection. They have never heard of the cultivation techniques. Is this the talent of the younger generation cultivated by some secret force? Who is this Lin Shirin? She is ranked ahead of Shaoli Tanhua. How come I have never heard of her before? I am also very curious. How can such a powerful person be unknown?